How many times have you told yourself the next time the market crashes, I'm gonna go shopping, I'm gonna buy real estate, I'm gonna buy stocks, I'm gonna buy everything, so that way the next time the market's great again, I'm rich, I can go retire, I can go live on the beaches of Tahiti and do whatever the F I wanna do. Well, insanely popular YouTuber Danny Duncan wants to do that as well. Famous for his pranks, clever t-shirts, and the Virginity Rocks World Tour, thoughts of buying at the bottom of the market are very exciting, and they should be to you as well. The question is, how do you prepare yourself now to be best able to go shopping at the bottom of the market, following any kind of recession if we ever come upon one once again? Obviously we will, it's just a matter of when. You know, we're all wondering when is it gonna happen. But anyway, we gotta be ready for when that time comes. I last met Danny about 6 months ago to help him with some real estate and kind of get familiar with all of the different things he had going on. But I was agonized by one common thing. What is the best advice that I could give somebody like Danny that is going to prepare him not to make money now, but to also make money at the bottom of the market? Well, today is the day I realized the answer to that. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is something that everybody could take advantage of. See, much like Danny, many of you might have money invested into some kind of index funds, maybe a Roth IRA, stocks, maybe even some real estate. And if you don't, you can still learn from this to take advantage of this when you're ready. The problem is money invested into stocks or index funds is really hard to use when the market crashes, because when the market crashes, it's kind of hard to convince yourself, dang it, my $100,000 went to $50,000, now I'm gonna go sell and buy other stuff. You usually just don't do that. And as far as real estate, you might think to yourself, oh, well, I'll get a loan. The problem is in a market crash, as values for property are down, it's harder to get a loan. Plus, banks oftentimes just don't like making loans at the bottom of the market because everybody's usually like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's happening? And you think it's hard to get a loan now. Imagine how hard it is to get a loan at the bottom of the market. So what then do most people do to prepare for a crash so that they're best able and best equipped to be able to buy? Well, most people do absolutely nothing. That is, you let your money kind of sit in your retirement accounts, your stock accounts, your real estate. You got equity, but it's just sitting there not doing anything. The problem is, when the market crashes, you kind of just have to watch, and it's painful because you know you want to buy. And so how do you solve those problems? You prepare now. And so I'm going to use Danny Duncan as an example in this. And no, you can always change the numbers and apply it to your specific scenario. And if you have any questions, always feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try to fill in the gaps and get back to you, as many of you as I can. Let's say Danny Duncan owns a $600,000 house and has no loan against it. And again, don't feel bad. If you've got $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000, there are ways we can make this work for you as well. If Danny does nothing and the market falls, he might not be able to do anything with the value that's in this house or equity, because again, it's harder to get loans and now the value is less. But there's something he can do right now. Enter today the 0.30% mortgage. Let's take Danny Duncan's $600,000 house and take out a $300,000 loan on a 15-year mortgage. That means he's going to pay it back over 15 years. And the interest rate he's going to pay on that money, on that debt he's borrowing from the bank, is going to be 3.15%. As of the time of this recording, that's how much the interest rate is for a 15-year loan. In this scenario, his loan payment is about $2,100. Now, he lives there, but if he rented out the house in the future, he'd probably be able to get about $3,000 per month for the house, which means he'd be putting aside $900 for taxes, insurance, repairs, CapEx, vacancy management, blah, 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 blah. AKA, he's got enough of a cushion to really protect himself from any kind of crazy negative cash flow, right? So what do we got? We got a $600,000 house, just taking out a $300,000 loan on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. No, it's very important that it's one of these conventional fixed rate mortgages, because that way if the market falls, the bank can't call you up and say, hey, you owe us all the money back. The rate can't change. It literally stays at 3.15% for 15 years, no matter what the market does. Well, now Danny has $300,000 that he didn't have before, because remember, before he had $600,000 in a house. Well, now he has a $600,000 house with a $300,000 loan against it, and then another $300,000 of value left in the house, so to speak. Let's now say he takes that $300,000, and rather than go spend it on stocks or buy something now, he wants to prep for a recession or market crash. He takes takes that $300,000 and parks it into either a wealth fund or online Betterment savings account. As of the day of this recording, Betterment will pay you 2.69% on the money that you're investing into a Betterment savings account. Notice how I said investing into a savings account? I know, it's crazy because you're literally taking, in this case, $300,000 and putting it into a savings account, which is FDIC insured up to $1 million, which basically means you have a risk-free return on your $300,000 of 2.69% without any exposure to the market whatsoever. Now, don't take it from me. You can look this up on Google or YouTube or whatever. I'm not getting paid to make this video. I wish I was, because this is really exciting in my opinion. I don't know, numbers like this really excite me. It's crazy. 2.69% risk-free. In fact, quite frankly, if you have anything over $10,000 sitting around, you should literally right now pause the video and go to betterment.com or wealthfront.com and make an account and move your money into there, because every $10,000 you have sitting around in a checking account, you're making zero. Every $10,000 you move over to like Betterment, you're making $269 per year doing nothing. And I'll tell you, there's one number Danny Duncan likes better than any number in the world, and it's 69, okay? His website is DannyDuncan69.com after all. Now here's where the fun happens. So Danny's paying 3.15% on this $300,000 loan he got, but he's getting paid 2.69%. So if we just subtract those, you'll see Danny pays just 0.46% in interest to have his money ready for a recession. Well, wait a minute, Kevin. Now you're saying it's 0.46%, but the title says 0.3%. What am I missing? Taxes. Watch this. In the United States, Danny probably pays about 35% on income taxes. However, you get to write off your interest expenses up to certain limitations in most cases. So if you're paying 3.15% on your loan, but you're getting paid 2.69% for putting that in a savings account, that's kind of like you're actually paying 0.46%. And now if you take 0.46%, subtract 35% in tax savings, it's basically like you're only paying 0.3% to have money sitting around ready for a recession. That's insane. It's like free money. Like, give me free money. This is so dirt cheap. 0.3%? Are you serious? All right, so at this point, you should realize, wow, because Danny has a $600,000 house that he doesn't have a loan on, he could take out a $300,000 loan at 3.15%, get paid 2.69% on that, write off the difference, and really only be paying about 0.3% in interest to have all of this money ready for him when the market crashes. And as long as you keep making the payment, there's no chance the bank calls and says, give me my money back. Now, that's pretty incredible, but there are obviously going to be some more details and objections that come up. So let's go through some of those right now. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Kevin, I don't own any real estate. Maybe you own some stocks or you have some money saved up. Well, this is where you should really start considering replacing your landlord if you're renting, or doing whatever you can to get into buying real estate. As a quick preview as to what kind of real estate I recommend you buy, I recommend you look for anything that you can easily buy that needs paint, carpet, and some basic cosmetics like kitchens and bathroom work, but not any kind of crazy structural work or fixer-upper kind of stuff. Just basic cosmetics so that you can really get some value in your real estate, and then you can take advantage of this kind of hack. Basically, if houses are selling for around $600,000, I want you to try to figure out, how can I buy one for $450,000 or $500,000, put a little bit of money in, like $25,000 to $50,000 in fix-up, and have extra net worth. Those are what I call wedge deals, and obviously there's a whole lot more to that, and that's why I have a real estate investing course, which is linked below. You could get 20% off on that through July 31st, 2019 if you use code WEDGE100. Now, objection number 2 that might come up is, well, now Danny has a loan to pay back. He didn't have a loan to pay back before. Right, but that loan still only costs him a net 0.3%. Yes, he has to make these principal repayments as part of his loan, but that doesn't cost him money. That's just shifting money around. the actual only cost is 0.3%. The money is shifting around is basically $300,000 coming out of the house, going into the savings account, and every month a little bit of that 300K is going to go back into the house. Objection number 3 might be, well, why would I get a 15-year fixed rate loan? Why don't I get a 30-year fixed rate loan? You can do that. All it does is change the numbers a little bit by about 0.75%. Here's an example. For Danny Duncan, a $300,000 loan would probably cost about 3.9%. 3.9% minus the 2.69% in savings would mean the money costs him about 1.21%. Minus the tax savings of about 35% means you'll have yourself a mortgage that costs about 0.79% instead of 0.3%. So yes, the 30-year loan is also possible for the scenario. Objection number 4 might be, well, why don't I just get a home equity line of credit and only pay interest when I need it? And there are 2 problems with this, even though I usually do recommend having a home equity line of credit. I'm a huge fan of those, and really, you could do both if you wanted to. But the 2 problems are, when the market starts falling, banks like to freeze credit lines, which makes it hard for you to know exactly when to pull out your money to have it available. In addition to that, you usually pay a higher interest rate than you would on like a 15-year or 30-year fixed rate loan. You might be paying somewhere between 5 to 7%. It depends. Those are usually variable rate loans. Now, objection number 5 might be something like, well, what about inflation? Well, here's the nice thing about owning real estate. According to Warren Buffett and, well, basic economics, real estate is a hedge against inflation, which means as real estate values increase, they usually increase over the long run more than inflation does. So owning real estate will help you ignore any kind of inflation considerations. Objection number 6 might be, well, what about rental properties? This is going to be more expensive on rental properties. And yeah, it's going to be maybe 1/4 to 0.5% more expensive on rental properties, but you could apply the same math. Again, if you need help with any of this, feel free to leave a comment below, but you could do this same kind of net math to see what it would cost to take money out of real estate, put it against a 15 or 30-year loan, and then put it into a savings account. The biggest thing is figuring out how are you going to move money from index funds and stocks over to real estate. Then when you own real estate, figuring out, okay, how can I borrow more on a 15 or 30-year loan while still being safe, ideally having it be able to cash flow if you were going to rent out the house, and then parking that money in savings until you're ready to strike in the recession. So folks, there you have it. If you think real estate is overpriced today and you want to park your money into a place where it's ready for you to be able to strike when the market's at bottom, consider taking out debt in safe ways. Don't over leverage. Take out debt on 15 or 30-year loans, park that money in a savings account, and pay that tax-affected interest rate. Because remember, you're able to write some of this off and confirm it with a CPA. I'm not a CPA, I'm just some dude on YouTube. All of this could be wrong. Rates could go up, rates could go down, anything could happen. And get ready to go shopping when the market crashes. Or whenever you find a good deal. Just make sure to join me in the real estate investing course so I can tell you if you're making a mistake.